Hello, my name is Cody. This project was kind of hard for me to summarize myself, so I was kind of thinking back to leaving high school and then having to come back the next day to the same exact school with a shirt and a tie and teach the students that I just were in class with, you know. And it was a big reality check for me because I had a very troubled youth, and I was a very self-destructive person before then. So I couldn't walk into that class, to those kids like that, to such impressionable youth and teach them that lifestyle, you know? And especially since I do teach music, it's something that you do have to have a lot of pride and pay a lot of attention to your students to make sure that they grow on an individual level. So I couldn't let them know my weaknesses as an individual. And having to go through that taught me three things. The first thing that it did teach me was patience, because growing up and going to school, especially being someone that was very good at music and English and history, and then having to go into pre-algebra and struggle, I didn't have very much patience. And it gave me the patience to be able to come, you know, to the Fullerton and take Math 20 and be able to sit through a 2-hour class and try to understand what's going on, just so I could help those students struggle with something that they don't understand, because music is something that's very hard to learn, especially if you have never done anything before, as Robert knows. Another thing that it did teach me as well was perseverance, because throughout my entire life, I've always kind of been the person to give up very easily on something that I didn't understand, especially since it's a lot easier for me to understand things like music. And it was very hard because I would have to go in and I would have to see many kids with lots of different individual needs and different struggles, and I would have to tailor my approach to each and every single one of them. And that took a lot of time and a lot of perseverance to actually get to know each student. And that improved me as coming to school and doing a lot of classes and taking a lot of classes that I necessarily didn't want to take, but because a little pink piece of paper told me that I had to take it to transfer to a school, you know, I'm here. And another thing that it also taught me was pride, because going throughout my entire life, you know, having a troubled youth and hanging out with people that probably weren't very good for me, it taught me a lot about apathy, not necessarily much about pride, and about how society should be giving me something instead of me giving back to society, which was a very wrong thing to learn. And to kind of represent, you know, my pride in this, I'm actually wearing the school colors right now for the school that I teach at, Magnolia High School, black and gold. And I brought a picture of my students with me, because I think they're the most awesomest kids in the world, and I'm going to show them this video on YouTube. Yeah, so it made me a much better person, and I'm glad to say that even though like the students that I started teaching aren't in this picture, that the years of students I've had have made me who I am today. And it's made me realize that one of the greatest bonds between human beings that we can have is between a teacher and a student. And I think that in biology we learn about symbiotic relationships, right? About creatures and organisms giving back to each other. And I think that's one thing that teachers and students do, even though we don't realize it, especially at the high school level, is that we communicate and we trade off and we learn from each other. And I think at the end of the day, we all end up as better human beings. And that's one thing that has helped me progress in life and mature a little bit. So, my name is Cody. Thank you.